Hey Robo Buddies! So I've been making a video series recently called the Christmas Gift Guide series that talks about different presents that you can get your friends, your family, and yourself during this Christmas season. Last week's video was about some of my personal favorite Bible studies, and in that video I mentioned an author named Melanie Carlson who writes some really spiffy books. Not only is she known for her Bible studies, but she's also really well known for her fiction books. So in this video I'm going to focus solely on some of my favorite Melanie Carlson fiction books. Let's get started. Melanie Carlson writes all sorts of series, from the True Colors series, the Carter House Girls series, the On the Runway series, and my personal favorite Melanie Carlson series, Diary of a Teenage Girl. In this video, I'm going to focus specifically on her Diary of a Teenage Girl series, just because there are so many books to them, and this video would take hours and hours if I talked about all the Melanie Carlson books that I've read. The first Melanie Carlson Diary of a Teenage Girl series is the Caitlin series. Book 1 is called Becoming Me. Book 2 is called It's My Life. Book 3 is called Who I Am. Book 4 is called On My Own. And book 5 is called I Do. It goes through her life as she's in her later years of high school and as she goes throughout college. And she's this girl who starts off not believing in God. She is kind of a shy girl. Caitlin doesn't really know who she is just yet, but then she becomes friends with the popular crowd and starts going to parties and starts getting involved with drinking and meets a lot of cute boys. And throughout this series, she discovers God and changes her life around, decides that she's not going to date, and just has a complete turnaround in just her view of herself and her view of God. This is my favorite Diary of a Teenage Girl series just because I've always been able to relate to her struggles with dating and her struggles with relationships and things like that. And what's really cool about these Diary of a Teenage Girl series is that at the end of each chapter it has a little something extra. So what Caitlin does is at the end of each chapter she writes prayers to God because Caitlin really enjoys writing. The second Diary of a Teenage Girl series is the Chloe series. The first Chloe book is, let's see if I can read it, My Name is Chloe. The second Chloe book is Sold Out. The third Chloe book is Road Trip. And the fourth one is Face the Music. Chloe is actually the younger sister of this guy named Josh. And Josh, in the Caitlin series, is one of Caitlin's best friends who she has a crush on all throughout the series. And so the series, all four of these series connect, which is so awesome to see how these characters are communicating with each other. So the Chloe series, Chloe, she's an outcast. She was bullied a lot and she doesn't believe in God at the beginning of the series. All these girls don't believe in God at the beginning of the series. They're questioning who God is and who they are. She makes music and she's very artistic. Her hair's always choppy and spiky and colorful, and she, always has this really outrageous sense of style. And Chloe, she meets Caitlin, and Caitlin introduces her to God, and Chloe ends up becoming a Christian, and she starts this Christian girls rock band, and this rock band becomes famous and it starts to tour the world. And so she, because of Caitlin's influence on her life, her entire life changes and she uses her Christian music to glorify God, and it's such a phenomenal book. The third Diary of a Teenage Girl series is the Kim series. The first book is Just Ask. The second book is Meant to Be. The third book is Falling Up. And the fourth book is That Was Then. And the Kim series, Kim is actually in the same grade as Chloe, and so Chloe kind of has an impact on Kim's spiritual life. Kim is adopted, and she decides in the beginning of book 1 that she wants to research her Buddhist ancestry. So again, Kim starts off, she's not a Christian, she's trying to figure out who she is, who God is. Her dad, who's not her real dad, but her foster dad, makes a deal with her that when she gets her driving ticket, instead of telling her foster mom about it, she's going to write an advice column for the dad's newspaper. So Kim becomes this advice columnist called Jamie, so the series is Just Ask Jamie. So what's cool about this is that at the end of each chapter, Kim has a letter that someone wrote into the column asking for advice, and Kim also has the response as Just Ask Jamie. And the fourth and final Diary of a Teenage Girl series is the Maya series. And the first Maya book is A Not So Simple Life. The second Maya book is It's a Green Thing. The third Maya book is What Matters Most. And Maya is actually the cousin of Kim. They're not blood-related cousins because, again, Kim is adopted. But Maya's a different kind of character. Her mom is a drug addict and an alcoholic, and Maya basically has to take care of herself. And her dad is actually a famous singer, so he's on the road a lot. Maya is a vegan, has a very bohemian sense of style, and she's very into saving the earth. And so, like the previous girls, how they have a little blurb at the end of their chapter, Maya actually has a green tip at the end of each chapter about ways to save the environment and protect the planet. You know, all of these books talk about these gifts that they've been given and how they're able to use these gifts to glorify God, which is super, super awesome. And just the writing style is so laid back and so fun, and Melanie Carlson is just a phenomenal writer. And what's really cool is that in each of these series, again, just the different struggles that these girls go through, like these even though they're Christian-centered series, they have some really, really heavy issues that are so prevalent in the world today. After I read these books, I decided that I wanted to start up a middle school girls book club / Bible study talking about these books because they completely changed my life, and I really wanted to introduce middle school girls to these books just because of all the struggles that I went through in middle school with bullying. I wanted to help other people who were going through the same things, and these books are just a great, great, great way to start. I feel as though a lot of these issues are very taboo subjects to talk about. You know, people don't tell their kids about these things, and so what's happening is that these kids, they're not learning them from churches or they're not learning them from their parents, and so what they're doing is they're going and finding answers themselves, whether it be from, you know, friends at school, or whether it be from the internet, or whether it be from MTV. I know that's how I found out a lot of this information because I didn't feel comfortable talking to my parents. And so I'm a firm believer that we need to introduce these girls to what the world is all about in a Christian environment, because it would be better, in my opinion, for these girls to learn about these topics, you know, in a God-centered environment, so that they're learning what God thinks about these things, rather in a worldly kind of environment where they're learning about, you know, what the world thinks about these things, because it's warped. You know, we want to teach them about these concepts before they're even introduced to them, so that they can make up their own mind and their own opinions about how they're going to respond to these things if they occur. And what's cool too is that these books have discussion questions in the back. And so what I do personally is I underline things I like in these books, and based on how the conversation is going with the book club, I'll make up questions on my own and ask them to the girls, but these discussion questions are also great places to start. So that is just an awesome way to just start your own middle school or high school girls book club. I've taught the Chloe series first, and I taught the Kim series second, and right now we're currently working on the Maya series. The Caitlin series is a little bit difficult to teach just because you can't teach 5 books in a school year and expect a lot of discussion. These books are just so incredibly life-changing, and I want to introduce you to them all because they changed my life, and I know that they'll change yours. Just the writing styles and the way that they approach these worldly issues from a Christian perspective, and help you make up your mind about how you view these different things and how you'll respond to these different situations. And as you can see, I'm just a huge, huge, huge fan. So last week in my Bible studies video, I wanted to give away 2 Bible studies. The first one was Her by Emily Cole, and the winner of that is right here. And we also have Knowing God Better Than Ever by Melanie Carlson, which is design series number 1, and the winner of that is... So, if you won these books, send me a message with your address, and I will mail these books right out to you. This week, I'd like to have 4 giveaways, and what I want to do is I want to give away the first book in every one of these Diary of a Teenage Girl series. So, for Caitlin, the first book is Becoming Me. For Chloe, the book is My Name is Chloe. For Kim, the first book is Just Ask. And for Maya, the first book is A Not So Simple Life. So, if you're interested in any of these books, leave me a comment, let me know what book you're interested in, and I will choose 4 winners in my following video next Monday. Also, if you won a book, what I want to do is I want to send out a Melanie Carlson bookmark. Now, these bookmarks are personally from Melanie Carlson, so if you win any of these Diary of a Teenage Girl books, you're also going to get a bookmark. What we did was my middle school girls book club and I, after we finished the first Chloe book, we actually wrote Melanie Carlson personally. We sent her a bunch of pictures that we took. She actually wrote us back personally, sent us a picture and talked to us, and it was so awesome. And she sent us an entire box full of books and of bookmarks. So I want to give 4 winners a bookmark personally from Melanie Carlson. So again, leave a comment below, let me know what books you want, and yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I hope that you have a really spiffy week, and I will see you all next Monday. Thanks. Ciao.